Welcome to another episode of Telltale Books videos. This one I'm continuing my James Tiptree Jr. Project to read everything I can get my hands on by James Tiptree and Alice Sheldon in order of publication. I am now up to the 14th work that Tiptree published, a story titled The Man Doors Said Hello To. Tiptree is always very clever and creative with titles to her stories. But this one, the title is descriptive and really isn't quite as crazy and creative as the story is. This is another story that got published in Worlds of Fantasy. I believe that makes 3 so far that I've come across that all went into the short-lived Worlds of Fantasy magazine. This being published in the winter 1970 issue. And like I've said in other videos, Tiptree is better known as a science fiction writer. She did write fantasy stories. She published a lot in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction. So by no means was she primarily a science fiction writer. She's just better known for science fiction. And this story is definitely one of those fantasy stories. At this point, going through Tiptree's career, things will change later on. But at this point, the science fiction stories are definitely superior to the fantasy stories. Very brief synopsis, very brief, because it's a very short story. And I don't think any synopsis of this story can possibly really capture the wackiness of the story. Although a little bit. Um, you have the narrator sitting in a bar, and a man comes in, a very tall man. And as he comes in, the door says hello to the man, and the man answers back hello to the door. The door, not a person. The door. Okay. Through the story, as this guy's going in the bar and the narrator follows him to other places, doors always say something to him, not always just the word hello. Some of them have other things going on. Some of them are kind of angry. And so there's a variety of things the doors say, but all the doors talk to this guy. And like I say, this guy is abnormally tall. And the narrator finds out that he is renting his self out as living quarters for very short women. There's a number of very short, very small women that have taken up residence in his clothes. They live there. They cook there. They do their clothes there. Okay. That should be enough synopsis to give you some idea of just how zany and weird and off its rocker this story is. I think it's meant to be intentionally humorous. Tiptree was really good at bringing humor into the stories. This story, though, kind of goes overboard with that, I feel. It it becomes way too surreal. And the surreal, fantastic things going on in this story don't make sense. I mean, you're just reading the story going, what the hell? And you end the story kind of on that same note of just shaking your head going, what the hell? It fails in that manner, that it's just too far out, too wacky, too bizarre. kind of a tall tale, but not. I just don't know what to make of this story. It's not like anything else I've ever read, even by Tiptree. Even on Tiptree's standards, this story is just way out there. Who can I recommend this to? I could only recommend this to the Tiptree enthusiast, the Tiptree completist. If you really, really love Tiptree and want to read everything, then of course you need to include this story because it's one of Tiptree's stories. But everyone else, I think you're just going to go away scratching your head thinking, no, just didn't do it for me. So I can't recommend it too highly. I can't give this a top tail, but it's different. It's out there. I generally like really weird out there things, but with a story, I want it to make some kind of sense in the end. I want there to be some reason, some point that the author is driving at, not just weirdness to be weird. And maybe I missed something, I don't know. But I don't think I missed anything. Anyway, where can you read it? It was originally published in Worlds of Fantasy for winter of 1970. I have looked that up online. There are old used copies of that magazine in good shape that sell for not all that much money. I don't happen to have a copy. Um, it is also available in the collection that I've shown a number of times in this Tiptree series, 10,000 Light Years from Home, Tiptree's first collection that is only available in paperback, and I've got a good paperback of it. But for those of you that like Subterranean Press, they published The Voice That Murmurs in the Darkness, this book here, just last year. And most Subterranean Press books, if you don't buy them like in the first month, you're not going to get it from Subterranean Press. You're going to be looking on eBay or something to find it. This one, if I'm not mistaken, is still, there are copies still available. It's a limited edition of 1,000 copies. I've got number 92. I believe there's copies still available on their website, and I believe they also offer it as an ebook. So this is a new collection. It's been a while since any new collections or new books of Tiptree have been published. So this is kind of an important event for Tiptree readers and fans that brings Tiptree back into print for a little while anyway. And you can read The Man Who Said Hello to Doors. The Man Doors Said Hello to. I'm getting that title wrong. You can read that story in The Voice That Murmurs in the Darkness, along with a lot of other excellent stories by Tiptree. With some of them in here. The Psychologist Who Wouldn't Do Awful Things to Rats. Beam Us Home, The Only Neat Thing to Do, which is one of my very favorites. Yankee Doodle, Out of the Everywhere, In Midst of Life. Some top titles by Tiptree are collected in this book. So very good book, edited by Karen Joy Fowler and Jeffrey D. Smith. If you love Tiptree, it's worth seeking it out and getting a copy. It really is. Excellent book. Way to go. And it's just a computerized illustration, I believe, a digital illustration, I believe, but it looks good. It's a good cover. And Subterranean Press does nice books. No slipcase, so it's a step down from something like Suntup or Folio Press or Folio Society, but they're still very good books. Well done, good quality. I recommend them. So have you read The Man Doors Said Hello to? I'm guessing not too many people have. It's one that I had never heard of until I started this project and got a hold of Tiptree's bibliography. But if you happen to have read it, let me know your thoughts about it, or just thoughts about Tiptree in general, in the comments section of the video. Don't leave other comments. If you don't like my sound, oh well, it's what I've got. And I'm not going to be spending money on improving my audio quality anytime soon. So, those kinds of comments, just keep them to yourself. If anything I can change, I'll figure it out on my own and change it. Anything I can't change, it just doesn't make sense to be leaving the comments, unless you're willing to buy me the high technology I need. I'm going to be sticking with what I've got. So don't leave those comments. Just don't bother. Don't waste your time. It is what it is. I'm doing the best I can. Anyway, I hope you like the video. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Help us out if you're not already subscribed. Come on back and see more Tiptree videos. The next one being number 15, Mother in the Sky with Diamonds, which you can guess shows off Tiptree's love of the Beatles. She's had some other titles here that shows at least one other title. Happiness is a Warm Spaceship, of course, is drawing upon Happiness is a Warm Gun for the title. And she's doing it again. Mother in the Sky with Diamonds, of course, is referring to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. So I'm looking forward to that one. And I hope you will be too. And come on back and join me for that and all the other authors that I talk about here on Telltale Books.